Hey guys, another Life's Little Golden Nuggets update, or another video, I guess. We are going to be continuing with the Brothers Karamazov because I think there's at least enough to do one more for today, and then to combine a few quotes and things that can all match up for the video maybe tomorrow, possibly. So what we're going to look at today is one that when I read it the way that it's written was kind of confusing at first, but the more that I thought about it, the more that I was like, oh, that makes sense, kind of as a therapist. This is a little bit further down in the section about a judicial error, and the quote is, "Why should we assume everything as we imagine it, as we make up our minds to imagine it? 1,000 things may happen in reality which elude the subtlest imagination." This is in regards to once the character is put on trial for the murder of his father, and they're trying to deliberate and say, like, who's right and who's wrong and who actually did it, because there wasn't enough evidence yet to really say, like, who did or who didn't at that point. But to me, when I heard that, though this is used in more of a legal sense, which, makes sense too, but psychologically, it also rings true. It's what we call it's that the idea that everybody comes to the table with an original bias. Everybody has one. I know if you say that you're unbiased, not true. As a therapist, I cannot say that I am unbiased. The goal is recognizing I'm coming at it with a bias, and then to recognize how can I keep my bias from being able to reach the person that I'm talking to. And so, the goal is not becoming just unbiased, but learning to set aside our bias for a brief moment to listen to the person on the other side of us and to give them what I like to call the benefit of a doubt. I find that to be very helpful, that when I try to give clients the benefit of a doubt, the more that they feel like I care about them. The more that I've seen couples and how they try to talk to one another in session. The thing that I've tried telling them the most, that I'm like, it's not anything that you can train, but it's something that we can learn, which is trying to believe that our partner is a decent person who is not trying to wreck our lives or to make it absolutely miserable or intolerable. When you can look at your partner and say, oh my gosh, this really sucks that we're fighting, but I know that it's not personal, or I'm going to believe that it's not personal, and I'm going to handle my emotions, and then I'm going to try to look at my partner like somebody who I really care about and want to really listen to. From there can flow so much of that empathy, understanding, caring, compassion, and kindness that would more than likely be exactly what our partner wants us to be for them when they are stressed out or when we're fighting. It's not that they want us to get more and more upset and angry with us, or us with them. They want us to be kind and to be soft and gentle and compassionate. But it's hard when emotions get high. And the biggest reason why the emotions get high, why they get so high up here, is because we come with our bias, and our bias shapes how our brain reacts chemically to what we perceive through the bias, and then do we choose to challenge or accept that bias, and then from there choose our reaction based off of that, and our body reacts on top of that. So it's a very complex thing, and that's a very, 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 very simple way to describe it, that I'm also sure there are plenty of other therapists out there that would be able to say, that's not entirely true, there's a lot more, or there you forgot about this or this. I'm trying to do this very minimally. But it's a good point. Why should we assume everything as we imagine it, as we make up our minds to imagine it? 1,000 things may happen in reality which elude the subtlest imagination. If you think that you have an idea about what's going on, more often than not, you're wrong. If you can't think about any other possible perspective or any other possible alternative that it could be, then no, I can't say that, because there are 1,000 things in reality that can elude the subtlest imagination. And part of what I like to do in therapy is sometimes say, hey, you think about it this way, but is that entirely true? Do we know for 100% fact or guarantee? Very rarely no. Even if it's someone's behavior that someone else notices. But then how they interpret that behavior to determine what the heart is of the individual doing that behavior, I go, I can't totally guarantee that. That doesn't sound 100% accurate, because it could be something else. And a lot of times, what I've seen, even with couples or even in my own relationship with my wife, or sometimes even with my own children, that I assume the heart behind their behavior that is maybe not correct. And because I assume a certain way that they are behaving and interpret their character as so, I then internally get my mind racing on how I'm going to combat that, or how I'm going to poke holes in the logic, or I'm going to prove that it's wrong. And then I shoot myself in the foot and stick my foot in my mouth, because I eventually will find out, oh, it maybe wasn't that. It was just, oh, my wife just might be overwhelmed by something emotionally, that it's not even personal. It's not even about me. It's just she projected her stress onto me asking for help. I took her stress as, why are you stressed out with me? Or if it's my child, that it's like, okay, what's going on? And they're just like, are you sad? No. Are you mad? No. Well, the last thing that I've found that's helpful is trying to say, well, you are being sad. What I do is I just roll with it and say, okay, well, we don't know. And the more that I've rolled with it in the I don't know, and then just wait for it to work itself out, it more often than not has worked itself out. So, big point of view there from Dostoevsky, something that is just able to be shared from a psychological standpoint of, don't believe the first thing that you see and or interpret, because that is more than likely based on your bias, and it more than likely is not going to help you connect with the person across from you, and it may lead to even further trouble. The harder work then is to say, hold on, how am I viewing it? Let me ask this person and share with them my thoughts and perspective, and then get their point of view. And if it doesn't match, more often than not, at least as a therapist, I've said, okay, well, if it doesn't match, then I need to find out more about what it is that the client wants, or I need to figure out more, or not even as a client, but just to a friend or someone in general in society, that it's like, then I need to know what it is that you really mean, so that I can take you at your word and go from there. Because the more that I've done that, the more that I have seemed to see better results in how I relate to them and how they relate to me. But, just my perspective on that. It was just a very deep thing that I thought, wow, like, we want to remind people about how we have those biases, how we assume everything, especially the very first initial reaction assumptions, and then to be able to challenge them and to recognize there could be, as Dostoevsky wonderfully said, 1,000 things may happen in reality which elude the subtlest imagination. So be patient, take your breath, slow down, try to see where you might be having your bias, and then try to take this person at their word. And if you do, what happens? Maybe you might see a better reaction from them, or you might see that the conversation goes a different way. I don't know. But it's at least worth a shot. And hopefully it can help you guys find one little gold nugget to help take with you for today. Well, thank you guys very much for your time. I hope you found this fun. I really enjoy it, and hopefully I'll come back maybe with the next video. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or not, but with just the next video, and we may try to wrap this up from here with the Brothers Karamazov. Thank you so much. See you guys.